Release Mahmoud Khalil now!
So you got hundreds of protesters storming lower Manhattan after the ICE arrest of a Palestinian activist at an apartment owned by Columbia University. Now, sources telling the New York Post he was being investigated as a potential national security threat. Alexis McAdams live at Columbia yet again today. What you learning, Alexis? Hello.
Hi, Bill. Well, even though Mahmoud Khalil was being investigated, according to the White House, as a potential threat to our national security, people across New York City chanting and marching overnight, saying he needs to be released. Watch this.
We want justice, you stay home! We want justice, you stay home! Release Mahmoud Khalil now! Release Mahmoud Khalil now!
Protesters chanting to free Palestine and free Khalil after ICE agents arrested the former Columbia grad student, saying he was leading activities that align with Hamas. Khalil's lawyer says the feds told her they were revoking his green card and his student visa. He came from Syria just 2 years ago and is married to a U.S. citizen who says she's pregnant, asking that he be released immediately. Khalil led dozens of protests at the Ivy League school, calling on Columbia to divest from Israel, or said it wasn't going to stop. Just last week, in some video we saw, he was at this protest at Barnard College. Bill, it's the same protest where these pamphlets were handed out, claiming to be from the Hamas media office. Very disturbing, as they called the October 7th attack by Hamas a moral victory. Trump posting, this arrest is the first of many to come, but Khalil has backing from Congress. Watch this.
If you believe in constitutional rights, if you understand that they're targeting this person, and everyone knows he has been very vocal against the genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza, and they're targeting him and refusing him constitutional rights, who's next?
Khalil's attorney says he's healthy and his spirits are undaunted as he sits out there in Louisiana at a facility from ICE. A judge has ruled that he cannot be deported yet. They're calling for a hearing tomorrow, and they want Khalil brought back to New York City. So we'll see what happens. Back out here live at Columbia, the protests are expected to continue. The call for action coming from the Students for Justice in Palestine, saying walk out of class and meet them outside. So we'll keep an eye on it, Bill.
Will do. Thanks, Alexis. Nice to see you. Upper West Side. Thanks, Dana.
You wonder what the tuition goes for, right? Well, let's bring in Fox News legal editor Kerri Urbahn. Here's what President Trump said. He posted this. This is the first of many to come. If you support terrorism, including the slaughtering of innocent men, women, and children, your presence is contrary to our national and foreign policy interests, and you are not welcome here. We expect every one of America's colleges and universities to comply. Thank you! Exclamation point. Kerri, we got a big argument about this on the 5 last night, and I know you've been digging into it. Is it legal?
Yeah, so look, the statute at issue is this one, and it's an alien whose presence or activities in the U.S. and the Secretary of State has reasonable grounds to believe that that presence or activities would have potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the U.S. is deportable. The reason I'm reading that out is because I think there's been a lot of focus on the language of the EO and President Trump's post about providing support for terrorism, which we know there's a statute on the books that details that. That's why the person was in court yesterday in Virginia for Abbey Gate. This is something different. This is something it's more broad, and it's about potential national security risks and threats. Now, there are other reasons as well that someone can be deported. You can be a terror supporter, you can espouse that ideology, you can't be, and you can't commit crimes. Now, I think what's important to note here is that this individual is a lawful permanent resident, and he's been so since 2024. But here's the key, Dana. Someone can be deported between the time they are a lawful permanent resident and when they apply for U.S. citizenship. Typically, it's 5 years. Now, if you're married to an American, it's 3 years. And I was talking to a former federal prosecutor this morning. He told me that he deported many lawful permanent residents in his time for actions that made them deportable, some of which I just laid out.
Well, you know, as somebody who married a British guy, this is a different scenario, but yes, you have a green card, but the green card is not guaranteeing citizenship, and he and I talked about that last night. So Shai Davidai was a professor at Columbia. He left after all of this, and he said, like Khalil, I too am on a green card. Unlike him, I don't support U.S. designated terrorist organizations, take over university buildings, and call for the genocide of anyone. He wasn't arrested for speaking up. He was arrested for breaking the conditions of his stay here. So the argument we got in last night was about free speech.
speech
How
versus
should I
conduct.
argue it tonight?
Right, and so he's going to argue I'm being arrested on speech grounds, which is unlawful under the First Amendment, and the government's going to say it's conduct. But even so, because he is not a citizen, it's this, again, serious foreign policy consequences, right? So if he is taking actions that the U.S. government believes is jeopardizing our national security, that's pretty broad. Right. And if you take a look at some of the things that his group has called for, I mean, just last August in an Instagram post that's now been deleted because I looked for it this morning, couldn't find it, but there was a lot of reporting around it at the time. You know, Westerners, we are Westerners fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. That's a pretty bold statement. How about the fact that the group rescinded an apology for a member who said that Zionists don't deserve to live? You know, Alexis just pointed out how they called October 7th a moral victory. And this group also praised the attack in Tel Aviv that killed 7 people, including the mother who was shielding her baby from death. In addition to the fact that they've obviously broken campus rules and local laws involving, you know, taking over, unlawfully breaking into buildings and the like. And so there's a lot there. So I think the government...
Not to mention, Kerri, remember those workers, including the janitor, who was basically held hostage on the campus last year?
Right. You know, and of course there are codes of conduct issue on the campuses themselves that they've been violating left and right. And this was something, Dana, I never understood as we watched all of this unfold last year. Why weren't these administrators just simply enforcing the code out of the gate? And this was a very simple thing for them to do, and they weren't for a very long time. So the point in all of this is that there is a lot here for the government to make their case as to why this person is deportable. And as far as this hearing tomorrow, we'll see what this judge thinks about him being detained pending this removal. But I wouldn't look too much into that. I think it's pretty par for the course, you know, retaining the status quo as all of this gets fleshed out.
Got you. Thank you for doing all that research for us. We appreciate it, Kerri.